My dear students, today we are going to talk about the topic how to develop programming skills. See, we all know about programming. As a computer science industry students, we all know about programming. So what do you mean by program? So before that, you should know what do you mean by language. So basically, we need a device or tools which is to communicate one person with another. Like if I wanted to talk to you, I use any language like Mother tongue, English or Tamil, or I can use Malayalam. Any language which known by you is easy to communicate. This is what we are using a language. Okay. So, my dear students, hope you understand what is language. Language is a tool which is used to communicate each other. Okay. Now we are coming to this computer industry. If you want to communicate to the person, we can use a language, as I said. Now, we are sitting in front of the computer. Imagine that we are sitting in front of the computer. We want to talk to computer. How do we talk to computer? If you are talking in your language, maybe in English or maybe in Tamil or maybe in Malayalam, the computer doesn't understand. Hope you understand, right? If you are talking in your language, the computer not even understand what you're speaking or what you're telling. Okay. So when you are going to talk to the person, you should know the language which is known by the opposite person. Okay, if this is the case, computer doesn't know your language. How to communicate? Computer knows only zeros and ones. Okay, so we don't know what is zeros and ones, but computer only knows. So what should we need in this? We need a translator. Like if you're going to US or if you're going to some country like South Arabian country, you wanted to talk to a person. How will you talk? You know English, that person doesn't know English. That person know Arabic, you don't know Arabic. If that is the case, how to communicate with that person? You need some mediator. That mediator's job is to translate from your English language to that person. So how to communicate? The mediator should know all the languages. That mediator, what we are going to do, like if you see that if Prime Minister is coming to visit any places in Tamil Nadu, Prime Minister doesn't know Tamil, we doesn't know Hindi, then how to communicate, to understand what he's speaking. He will speak in English Hindi only. We will understand in Tamil only. Then how we need a person, that person, intermediate person can understand what the Prime Minister is speaking in Hindi. And he can communicate, he can translate from Hindi to Tamil. Then he will be speaking that statement to audience so that the audience can understand what the Prime Minister is speaking. Not understand. This is what language. So what we need to talk to computer, we need a translator. What do you call? Translator. What is the job of the translator? To translate from our language to machine language. Don't understand what is language? Why do we need language? Now, we are coming to this today's topic, how to develop a programming skill. So, if you want, what I am doing is a program. Can you imagine that? Because I have organized the content which I wanted to explain to you in PPT. This is called as program. We understand. Like for example, if you're going to conduct program in a function in your college, for example, college day. How to conduct college day? There are some activities. What are the activities? You have to plan the day. Plan who are going to be the audience. What are the events you are going to have? How to conduct all these events? When the day comes, how to organize? All these things is an event. You have to execute, you have to plan each and event separately and organize all these events to come together on the day of execution. This is called program. Now you understand what is program. Program is a set of instructions or set of statements. Got understand? As for us, first year and second year PG students, you should know what is program what is language. Okay, so now we know this program we are going to take to discussion for today's event. That program, okay, we know the program, we know that language, then we should skill. Okay, so then I'm going to give this simple example. I'm not going to get into the slide so far. Now, as for us, you are the first year students and second year students, you should know more about this, more basic about this things. That's why I'm concentrating more on the introductory part. Then after that, if I move on to the slide, you can easy to understand all these things. Okay. And next, this I told you this, what are the methods you're going to do in this program? First, you know that what is program? Program is a collection of statements. We understand. Now, how you know that to write the statement? As for us, student who are living in Tamil Nadu, if you wanted to go to somewhere, some languages, you want to learn some languages. Just example is nearest state, Kerala. If you wanted to go to Kerala, you should know what is the language they are using in Kerala. Malayalam. We know that. Then next you should know how to learn Malayalam. Before going to start learning Malayalam, you should know what are the characters, what are the words, what are the sentence are there in this Malayalam. Then you should know how to form a word, how to form a sentence. Then you should know how to speak. Okay, all these things you should know in this programming part. So we know that program is a whole thing, and in this things, each and everything, every statement is instructions, and you should know how to write the instructions. Before that, you should know how to form a word. Before that, you should know what are the characters of it. So if you are a Malayalam, if you want to learn Malayalam, first you should know what are the letters are there in this Malayalam. You can take this simply. If you want to learn English, what are the letters are there in English? A to Z, small letters and capital letters are there. First, you should know. And in addition to that, we have a lot of symbols, numbers 0 to 9, and symbols like comma, semicolon, less than, greater than, equal to, not equal to, like and so on. Like you can use all these symbols, all these numbers, all these letters to form words in English. Similarly, when you're going to the programming languages, you wanted to learn a programming language or you wanted to write program in any programming languages, first you should know what is that programming languages. Then what are the items which is there in programming languages? First thing is character set. That's what throughout this computer science, right from the C programming till you study this Python or MapReduce, everything you should know what are the characteristics. The basic characteristics are carried out into all programming languages. You can take this C. What is the character sets are there? The same thing. Letters A to Z, numbers 0 to 9, and special characters. The number of special characters and type of special characters which is used in programming language may differ from language to language. Only that difference. The remaining characters are same as in all programming languages. What understand? Hope you understand about this character sets. And next, second stage, you can use the character set to form a words. You can use the words to form a sentence. You can have the collections of sentence to make it into the program. Okay, good morning. Hope you understand about all these items which we are going to use it in a programming languages. Am I audible? Sir, am I audible? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Because we are in virtual no, like we don't know whether what I am speaking is reached to the audience or not. Okay, today I'm going to start the session. So far, we have discussed this like programming languages, then computer, then like character sets, words, instructions, all these things. It's a basic concept we have studied. Now we are move on to today's concept, like Programming languages. What is programming languages? How we have to write a program? Then why should we write a program? These are all the three questions. Answer for these three questions we are going to concentrate on today's session. So what is programming language? I told you there are various languages which is we need to communicate to the computer. This is what languages. Using that languages to develop code or develop a program is called as programming languages. Then how to write a programming languages? That's what I said before itself. You should learn character sets of that particular programming languages, learn how to form a words of that particular programming languages, learn how to write a sentence of that particular programming languages. And the character sets, words, sentence, all similar definitions, all three definitions are similar to all programming languages. Okay, only thing how to write may differ from language to language. Then how to write a programming languages based on the syntax of the particular languages we can write a program, right? Then here I should know what is syntax. What do you mean by syntax? Syntax is a format. Like if you are going to write an exam in semester exam, you should know what is the format of the question, right? How many sections are there? Section A, how many questions? Each question carry how many marks? Section B, how many questions? Each question carry how many marks? How many choices are there? Which question comes from which unit? All these things you should know. This is a general format of the question. Before you are going to write examination, you should know. This is totally you should know. Similarly, you can write all concept. You can take real life exam. That is what here we are going to discuss about how to write a program. Then why should we write a program or why the programming languages is important? Yes, of course, because you know that today's trend, everybody's are working with mobile, working with laptop, working with what is that desktop, all these things. Wi-Fi. We are using Wi-Fi. We are using internet. Everything we are using. We are in computer world. If we are in the computer world, we should know why the programming is important. That's what I told you. If we wanted to do something manually, we can do. We can use our physical fitness. We can use our physical energy to do all these things. Same thing. If you wanted to do something in a computer, we should know how to write program. Why? Because you wanted to get something from the computer. It may be in action or it may be in a result. You wanted to do something that will be based on the computer programming languages. That's why we have to go for the programming languages. Now, we all know about this. The same thing what I have given it in a sentence format. It's like a language which is understandable by the computer. Computer wanted to understand what you are telling. That you can write in any programming languages, that you can compile it, save it, and then compile it, then run it. While running the program, the computer understand that each and every syntax of the particular language, they understand by themselves, I mean by zeros and ones, and it make the process and produce the result. Again, it can be converted into our language. This is what internally what is doing. Okay, you will be writing a programming language program in any programming languages, English. You will be writing a program in English language. It is similar to programming language is similar to English language. Okay. So you will be using that English language to write a program and save the program in a computer. Then you compile it. In this case, the computer can a computer is having a translator. This translator will convert from your programming language, which is written in English language, is converted into machine code and do the process. What you are telling in the program, the statement in a program, accordingly, it can do the process. Computer can do the process. Finally, it produces the result. If it produces the result as such in the machine code, we can't understand, right? The computer only understands the machine code. We can't understand the machine code. Then instead, what we understand only in English. For that, the computer again translate or convert from their language, machine language, into English language. So that only we can understand the result of the program. Okay, so this is the way you can write the program. When you are writing a program, all the tasks you wanted to do, that everything will be grouped together to make it into various functions. That functions including all the logics, all the mathematical calculations, all the functions, anything you want, you can do it. If something you wanted to repeat it, everything will be included in the program and then you can execute it. This is what a program. Okay, next, how to learn a program. There are various concepts to learn a program. First, you should know you have to familiarize with the operating principles of the computers and what are the inputs you're going to use it and what are the output you will get it. All these things you have to learn in this. Okay. The next thing is programming languages. Before going to start write a program, you should know what is programming languages, how to write a statement for that particular programming languages. All these things you should. Next thing is you should know how the internet is working. Then you can do some command line basics, and then you can build a uh, what is that? Build up a text editor also. That is text editor in the sense there is a tool which you wanted to type the program. In C, C++, Java and all, Java need a text editor. C++ and all, they don't need a text editor. Instead, we can type it in the compiler itself. But when you're coming to the Java programming, you have a separate editor that called Notepad or EditPad or anything else. You can use that editor to type your program. Then you can compile it in a Java compiler, then produce the result. This is what we are going to do it in this learning a program. Next thing, you have to understand why is it important. Is it important to know about the computer programming? Yes. Yes, for us, a computer students, you are going to be the IT professionalist in future. So you should know, you should give more importance to the programming skills. Okay, that this programming may be in web-based application or maybe in the application oriented. So you can, whenever you are writing a program, you have to imagine that whether the program is going to be the application oriented or web-based. Web-based, when you're going for web-based, here you have to put more creativity. When you're going to develop a program for application oriented, here you have to give all the skill set, thinking skill set and logic sets. All these things should be incorporated in the application oriented programming. And these things in the second one, web-based programming, you can think about creatively. Then what should be have like this? Suppose you wanted to create a website for your college. Okay, simply you will be creating that the people doesn't like. You have to bring it all the colorful items, all the colorful item in the sense it is not like colors. It is like a text form. How to bring all these things? If your college is conducting sports day or any intercollegiate meet, everything you have to bring it in a photo form and you have to write, give it in a write up, and all these things you can make it, and you have a scroll information and the website to be updated. All these things is there. Then only the people will be note your website and people will like your website. So this is what a critical, this is what a creative attitude when you're going to bring it in the, what is that, web-based application. Okay, suppose you are going to develop a application program. So this application program in the sense, what you want result oriented. This is application program, you want to concentrate on result oriented. That if you are doing something, what you will get out. You have to concentrate on these things. Okay, so this is why it is more important. For that, you have to learn all at least a few computer programming languages. Then, if you want, you can learn about additional languages also. This is what the three things you should know by end of this today's session. Okay, so now here, apart from these three questions, answer for these three questions, we have to concentrate on these three components. First one is importance of programming, skills that all programmers need to have, tips to improve programming skills. Here you should know what is programming, I told you. Then who is programmer? Who is programmer? Can anybody tell about who is programmer? Can anybody tell who is programmer? Who are you? You are a student, right? How do you know you are a student? As for As far as you are coming for learning, that's why you are a student. Am I correct? Who is
Yes, ma'am.
programmer? Who is programmer?
Make a program.
Good. What's your name?
Virender, ma'am.
I appreciate you. You come up this with answer right. I appreciate you. I'll tell you. Programmer is a person who develop a program. If I am giving a lecture, I'm called lecturer. The person who is delivering the information called lecturer. The person who is learning like you is called as learner. As a student, you are coming for learning. So you called as learner. Suppose you will be developing a program, small program like adding two numbers, finding greatest among three numbers, finding factorial of a given number. This is called small program. If you are writing a program by your own, you call it as a programmer. Okay, so as a programmer, what are the skill set you should have? What are the skill set you should have? As as far as I'm giving explanation about all these things. Hope you can come up answer with this question. What are the skills that programmers need? Can anyone tell at least one skill? Pardon?
Ma'am, language knowledge இருக்கணும் ma'am.
Yes. Language. Then
Program.
program. Then
Program knowledge, ma'am.
programming knowledge. Then logical thinking. This is more important. Okay, you're going to start write a program. Before that, you should think of this. I'll tell you an example. If you're going to construct a house, what you'll be doing the first thing? What you'll be doing the first thing? You have to think of it. You have to plan of it. How to do? What are the requirements we need? All these things, money and manpower, everything you have to plan it. That is what you should have critical think. I mean, logical thinking. You should have logical thinking. The next, if you are a programmer, then how to improve again and again your skills. That is, we are going to discuss in this tips to improve programming skills. Okay. Now we'll see one by one. First one, importance of programming. So why it is important? Yes, the computer programming. We like the what I said before itself. If you are going to develop a small program, easy to do this. Suppose you want to develop an application. How will you do? You have to concentrate on what are the item you're going to include. Then you can plan the items. Next thing, when you are using any application, you see that there are some options, there are some menus, there are some items. You should know how to create all these things. Before that, you should know what are the items to be placed in your own application. Okay, that's what I have taken that example. If you want to construct a house, you should plan it. What is the square feet you're going to construct a house, and how many rooms are there? Where should we keep this room, that room, and so on? All these things should be properly planned. Okay, and this when you are going to have, for example, if you are going to have, you are going to develop this any applications like artificial intelligence application. Here you should know what is artificial intelligence. Like you are a human, you will be thinking by your own. You will be making the other product to think, to feel, to express. This is called as the artificial intelligence. You can develop such kind of programming. Okay. The next, how to program, how to improve your programming skills. So you know that what is program and why do we need program. Now you are in the stage to how to improve programming skills. There are 5 ways to improve programming skills. Here I have taken as a coding. Here I would like to mention this, what is coding and what is programming. Like programming, you will be using a logic to do that, and then coding, you will be manipulating that program. Okay, so now we are going to see that there are 5 ways to improve the coding skill. First one, coding language. Second one, self-reliance. Third one, communication skills. Then fourth one, understand machine stupidity. And the last one is abstract thinking. We'll see one by one. First one, coding language. Here, you should understand about this, the tools. What are the tools you are going to use? If you are writing a C programming, what are the tools are there in a C programming? We have declaration statement, we have looping statement, we have conditional statement, then function, files, pointers. Using all these tools, you can write a program. That is the this may differ from language to language. Next thing is self-reliance, that you have to understand about how to solve the technical problems. You can bring the problem and get the solution. The solution also you can think of this. As a programmer, you should know the program as well as a solution. Then you can write. Okay. And next thing is communication skills. Why do we need communication skills? We are not going to talk to the computer. We are talking to the computer through this typing only. For this, why should I need communication skills? It may be the question from your side as the audience. Yes, we need communication skills to write, to think, to implement, to develop all these things. We should have a little bit of communication skills. It's like not, I'm not telling about like the literature person knows the communication skills. We don't want such professional communication skills, but at least you should know few level of communication skills to write up coding, to communicate to the computer, and we should understand what the error is coming, then how to correct this error, all these things we should know. For that, we need a bit of communication skills. Next thing is understand machine stupidity. That means we know that already computer doesn't have any sense. It doesn't think, it doesn't feel, it doesn't react. What you are telling, that will be giving a result. Okay, it is not having any thinking about, it is not having independently thinking. It think only depending on you, depending on as a programmer, you, right? So that's why it is not having any sense. What you wanted to do, accordingly, you can think and write a program and then feed to the computer. The last thing is abstract thinking. So what it means, abstract means what? That's what I told you, that analytical thinking or logical thinking should have. You should think in different angle to produce the output. So the same thing I tell you, no? If you are going to develop a website for your college, you have to think in different angle. If you place the photo in a website, then you view that, is it looking nice? If it not, you can bring the photo to the right justify. Then you see that if you change the color, you see that what the appearance. If you change the text, if you change the sentence, then if you apply the animation effect, all these things you have to keep applying, and think of this. Finally, you will get the wonderful things. Okay, so this is what a thinking, abstract thinking, that you have to think the same objective in a different angle. That will get the conclusion. Okay, then next thing we are going to discuss about what are the skills that all programmers should have. As a programmer, we should know all the skill set that what we have discussed before. In addition to that, we are going to discuss more things. See that these are all the programming skills that we have to develop. Data structure and algorithm. Why do we need data structure and algorithm? Because everything we are going to process is data. If you, simple example I'll tell you, if you want to perform adding two numbers. If your teacher is asking you to write a C program or C++ program or Java program to add two numbers, what you will be doing? First, you have to find what are the two numbers. Isn't it? Suppose 5 and 10 is your number. You have chosen number. In the sense, as in this computer, as far as computer language, we need some storage to store these two values, 5s and 10s. Okay, for that you can take a two variable. That you can assign it A equal to 10 and B equal to 15. This is the first stage, which you are going to analyze about this. Finally, you will get A is equal to 10 and B is equal to A is equal to 5 and B equal to 10 is a data structure. Okay, and database and SQL. You stored the data today. You have stored all your college students' data. You have feed all your college students' data in a database. Then later, then tomorrow or day after tomorrow or forthcoming day, you wanted to retrieve the data, you wanted to process the data, you go for SQL. Okay. Then object-oriented programming language. Here is also using data, which is more concentrated on object. What do you mean by object? Keeping your, I'll tell you the example. Keeping your pen in pocket is different from keeping your pen in your bag or purse. If you are keeping the pocket in, keeping a pen in your pocket, everybody see it easy to visible, right? If the person, opposite person who is standing in front of you, that person doesn't have pen, they will be immediately coming and picking a pen in your pocket. This is not having security, right? You will be globalized. You will be having a pen in your pocket. If the person knows, they will be coming and taking it without your permission, even if the person is known to you. Okay, suppose the pen is in your purse or the pen is in your bag. The person doesn't take the pen from your purse or the pen from your purse. Okay, so this is what secured. The data, the object is pen, which is going to keep in a place is secured. This we will be discussing a lot of things in object-oriented programming languages. The next thing is IDEs. It is for developing programming, that environment. Then cloud computing. Instead of storing it in a computer, we can store it in a cloud. Then web development. It is entirely developing a web-based application. Then container, we can make this in a separate area. We can do design in that area. Then text editor, as I told you, you have an editor to type everything. Then give version control, all these things. These are the skill set you should have while writing a program. Okay. And next thing is we are going to discuss about these things. Before that, I should tell this skill set you are going to have is classified into two. One is hard skill, and second one is soft skill. This is hard skill. The next is soft skill. That what are the soft skill you should have? That's what we have discussed. Everything will be comes under this communication. That verbal and written communication should be essential while writing a program. Then teamwork and conflict resolution is needed. Like when you go to the IT industry, if you imagine that you are placed in a company like HCL or Wipro, any company, you got placement. Okay, you will be get into the company. If you don't know about this teamwork, you are not involved in the teamwork, if that is the case, it is not working out in the industry, IT industry. It does not mean that you will be having a work alone and you will be provided a table, chair, and you will be sitting alone. You will not be discussed with anybody. You will not be depending on for anything in an IT industry. You don't imagine that it will not happen in an IT industry. Okay, you should have a teamwork. Like if college website is coming, launching, it is not a single person work. Okay, if your college website like SMS College of Arts and Sciences viewing in a when I am googling it, if that is the case, that website can't develop in a single person. There are people who team of people who is working together to bring it into the college website, who are all involved. That the person who is having a planner. In this team, planner is there, then um, coding is there, then designer is there, then finally execution is there. All these things. In between, there are a lot of people who is there to assist. Okay, so that's why teamwork is more essential in soft skill programming. Next, problem solving. So whatever the problem you have, everything should be solution. That solution, you yourself have to bring it. How do you bring it? With the logical thinking. While writing a program, if you are a programmer, you should have good logical thinking. You think and bring it into the good solution. Okay. Then again, you will have such empathy, patience is needed, curiosity is needed. So daily you will be coming and asking the teacher to give problem. Ma'am, I wanted to be the master in Java. Can you give a problem? I'll write a program. This is what all these things. Then patience also. Even if you are not getting answer, you have to keep trying, apply another logic and keep trying. Then adaptability, accountability, time management. All these things are comes under soft skill. So you have to sit and think of do you have all these skills? If you are not having, you can what is enhance it? What is the way to enhance it? All these things you can think of this. These are the steps. The first thing is establish goals for yourself. First, you have to be why you wanted to be the programmer, what the goal you wanted to make you a programmer, what is your dream. All these things you have to set in your as a goal. Next, this goal should be, you can keep working out into these goals to get achieve the things. Okay. And do practice. That's right. And next thing is you keep reading at home. You keep reading several built-in programming or code which is discovered by more people. Maybe your friend, maybe the person who is sitting and neighbor in your class, that person know good in programming skills. So you have to discuss with him, and if he developed the code which is with him, you just get the code and read it, what is the logic, and how what logic he has applied to get this. All these things you can analyze it. Next thing is keep asking questions when you are writing. That's what I told you. When you are writing, when the teacher is teaching the class about the programming language, if the teacher is telling a single point, you have to think of more point on this what the teacher is telling. Okay, so you have to work out more. You have to keep asking question on you. What is the different angle? Like, I'll tell you an example. If the teacher is asking you to write a program in C or C++ or Java for finding factorial of a given number, this is what the question the teacher is asking you. You are supposed to write a program. What you'll be doing? First, you have to think of what you have to do. Then you can do. That is, you have to think of manually how to calculate the factorial of a given number. For example, 5 factorial. How will you calculate? 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. Summation of all these things, what you get is, multiplication of all these things, what you get is factorial of a particular number. Okay, so this you know. Then how to bring out for this program? You can think of it. The same task, which will be repeating again and again. What task is repeating again and again? Multiplication task, right? So that which task is going to repeat more than once, we call it as looping in programming languages, right? So that if you want to write a looping, we have concept. We can use for statement, or we can use while statement, or we can use do while. There are three kind of statement in all programming languages used for what is that? Looping. Looping means the same set of tasks or single task which you wanted to repeat more number of times. This is what looping. Okay, so if that looping is going to happen, what whether we can use for or while or do. If you are using for, what is the number of statement? If you are using while, what is the statement you have to use? Then do similarly. Okay, if you are using for, everything will be in the single statement. That is what everything same thing. The teacher is explaining using for statement. You automatically start writing the same program using while and to. This is what you are showing that interest to develop the program by yourself. You don't wait for the teacher to tell the same thing. Students write the same program using do while, using while. If the teacher is telling, then only you are going to start. It should not. If you wanted to become a good programmer, you have to put more effort. That is what we are going to discuss today. The next thing is here is a steps I have given it for making a programming, for improving a programming skills. First one, you decide which program you will learn. That is, choose the programming language to master for 3 years. Suppose third year students are here. For 3 years, first year, second year, third year, you might have studied C, C++, Java, then web programming. These are all things you might have studied. Among these things, which you wanted to become a master, which you wanted to become more knowledge. Okay, so that choose yourself, which is you will be more interested on web-based application. You may be more interested on logical thinking. Then you decide among yourself. It's all the persons are not good in all the area. According to you, if you find out good in web design, I'm good in programming, I'm good in testing, then you go proceed. You take more training on these things. Okay. As far as this is, it can be divided into 7 steps. In the first step, choose the programming language to become a master. Next thing is read the basics or core concepts of that program. Suppose you have chosen Java is your option. Next, you have to read the basic. What is basic? What are the type of program we can write using Java? What are the statements are there? All these things you have to study. As Java, we can write it in 2 different level of program. One is application-oriented program. We can use Java to write, and then web-based program we can use Java to write. But C, C++ can use only one way to write. That is application program only. If your option is C or C++, then you can go for application program only. Okay. If you are a first year student, you thorough enough in C programming languages. C programming languages, what are the concepts you are going to study? Everything will be the base for other programming languages, right? In the C program, you have character set, you have operators, you have types of operators, identifiers, reserved word, keyword, then constant, then conditional statement, then looping statement, then what else? Files, then pointers, structure, all these things, arrays, all these things are there in C. Everything you thorough enough about this. Thorough in the sense, I'm not asking you to mug it up. You just everything you take the definition and match it with a real life example. What I told in this session, hardly I have chosen 5 to 6 real life example. I have given it then and there. If you observe my lecturing, you are able to understand. If you follow it in future, which subject you will be studying, every concept you can match it with a real life example, so that the concept never forget. Okay, no, as the programming, as the computer industry students, you don't mug it up all the concept. You just understand the basic things, which you feel that difficult to understand. Better you can choose the real life example to associate it with, so that it will not forget it. Okay. And next thing is, this is the second stage. Read about basics and core concepts. And the third stage is read, write, and run. That is, if as C, if first year students, you are learning C, your teacher might have taught you like how to write a declaration statement. Declaration is one of the type of statement which is there in a C program. In all programming languages, it is having. Then you should know the teacher have given a syntax for how to write a declaration statement in C programming. Syntax, I'll tell you. First, data type, then followed by variables. These variables are separated by commas. This is what a syntax, right? If you know the syntax, you keep reading a statement or keep writing the statement. Example, int a, comma b, comma c. Int a equal to 10. Int name equal to Sudarshan, or like you will be keep reading and feeding the statement into the C program and running it and get out. This is what the third stage. And the fourth stage, try to solve small issues using coding. The small issues I told you, like suppose you want to find out largest among two numbers. What is the logic? You can check the value of the variable, whether it is greater than or equal to or less than. These things you can, or less than. These things you have to find. Right? For this, you can write a C program. First, what you have to do, write the header file. Next, declaration statement. Next, get the value for A and B. Next, write the conditional statement. If A less than B and A equal to B or something, like you will have conditional statements. Next, if the condition is true, what is going to be print or what is going to be print, and close the statement. This is what the flow you have to write a program. This is a small problem, small issue. You can take the small issue, write a C program. Similarly, for Java or any programming language you wanted to learn, you can start doing a small program coding. This is the fourth stage. And next, fifth stage. Fifth stage, you have to participate some of the discussion. It may be you may be discuss among with your friends in a class, that group discussion, or you conduct a quiz, or you can appear some online exams or online lectures. You can learn. This is to improve your programming skills. When you're coming to the sixth step, be a part of the programmers community. Write a small program and join together to make it into a big program. That you have to get experience from the learned programmer. What should he do? How to do? What the industry is expecting from the programmer? All these things you can discuss with the learned programmer, so that you will be keep growing. Okay. Next thing is share your problem and methods with the learned programmer. If you have idea, you share with them. Then if you are not getting solution, you share with them, get solution. They will be, the other person will be putting their, what is that, their critical or their logical thinking, so that you will get solution, right? This is about the essential soft skills that every programmer is, that we have already discussed about the soft skills. In addition to that, it is analyze about information, determine the relevance, and make the objectives. And that objective should not be in an emotional way, should be in a critical way. And you wanted to get a solution, you can keep going towards to the objectives. What for you're going to write a program? What is your aim? You have to write a program according to the aim, not focusing on others. Then you have a lot of ideas. You can break it into various parts and evaluate all these ideas and revise it whether it got a satisfied results or not. This is what some of the logical thinking you need. Why learn to code? Yes, we need. We need some of the code to improve your skill set. This is what the answer for how to improve our skills. In apart from that, we have 10 logic. We have to look into that to improve the programming skills. Think to solve, do practice, learn about data structure, and do continuously playing a game, so that you will get some ideas. Playing game in the sense not for the like paying amount to play the game, not like that. Simply you will be like you will have a puzzle ball on your hand. You play with that manually, physically. You play with that so that you will get solution. Such kind of game. Suppose you have a problem, you are not getting answer, you are not getting solution. You are so tensed. You close the laptop, go to the ground and play some game, you will get some idea. Then you come back and sit at home, open the laptop and try the program. Definitely you will get a solution. This is what they said. Okay. Next thing is learning programming. That should be how to learn. The things should be make it in a step by step, what I explained before. And look at the other people's code. So see, nowadays, lot of resources are available in the world to see the built-in code. Lot of websites are there to learn and see the built-in code. See, US people, what they are doing, if they wanted to develop what the IT people are doing in US, they are all doing a program. They are all developing a program. People who is from India can develop a program, but that people can drag and drop. They will go search coding in a website and click it, drag it, and drop it for their purpose. This is what they are doing. So you just think of it, how the code has written to get the output. This is what you have to look at other people's code. Then next, take part in a code challenges. How they have taken a challenges to take this output. These things you can see that. Read many books and solve them. Many examples. Solve the problem for many examples. Clean the code. Clean the code in the sense what? You can just erase the code. If you see that code, just erase the code. You sit there. Actually, you can start writing. Don't copy that. If you are copying the same thing, you will never improving your programming skills. Okay. If you clean the code and start writing by yourself, then you can do that. Design pattern. Design pattern in the sense you develop a coding for uniqueness. He is doing a program using for to find the factorial of a given number. You don't use the same thing. You think of this using in different angle. Instead of using for statement, you can use if statement, or you can use do statement, or you can use while statement. So similarly, you can think and bring it to the design pattern. These are the way to improve your logic problems. Next, top programming languages for competitive programming skills. You know that these are the basic C, C++, Java, Python, Scale, Node, Ruby. All these things are PHP. All these things are top programming languages in the IT industry. You start develop, start improve, then definitely you are going to become a programmer in the industry. These are the some of the languages, which additional languages: Perl, Bash, then HTML, CSS. All these are some of the Swift. All these are some of the languages you can. Coding versus program. That I told you already. Coding, you can translate from general language to the machine language, which is used by the computer. Then you wanted to translate your language to the English language, your mother tongue to the programming language. First, you think in mother tongue and bring it to the programming languages, feed it to the computer. The computer can translate it to the numbers and then do the process by the computer, and the computer can produce the result. Again, it can be converted back to the, translated back to the English language. This is what the procedure. See how many steps are there. As a programmer, you think the program in your own mother tongue. If you are a Tamil student, you will be thinking in Tamil language how to write a program for this. Next, you bring that mother tongue's thought to the English language, programming language program. The next you feed to the computer. This is what will be going in a computer industry. Okay. And the programming, the programming is some executable task. So what you have to do, that you have to bring it into the product. That product should be error-free. That product should be satisfied by the person who is going to use. This is what programming. Okay. So now you got idea about how can you improve your coding skill. So you have to set all these goals to improve your skills. These are the several resources to learn programming. There are a lot of resources. Best resources is Udemy, Udacity, Code Academy, Codemy, Code Meter, Code Mentor. Code Meter is there. Then W3 School. Then lot of websites nowadays. Lot of websites are available in the YouTube. Lot of websites are available in the internet to learn a good programmer. Okay, you can make use of it and get the result. Then this is about a small demanding coding languages across the globe, starting from R, C, C sharp. These are the percentage of demanding in the industry. PHP, Java, then Ketone, Ruby, and Scala. Lot of languages which is there in a globe, which in a demanding. I surveyed it is. This is the statement which, this is for your motivation. I have brought it. This is for the programmer who developed. He is working in a Kodami. He has given these things. What is the statement? You see that when I got back to my job, my employers were really surprised by how I could apply several programming skills on our project. So here I should know what is project. So far we have discussed about programming. So the project is not in your concept, but still I have to say this here. What is project? Project is a group of program. You can bring all these programs together to make it into the single product is called as a project. So he become a project T, and he got several programming skills. So he got satisfied with this. He got appreciation from the many people. And as the next person, she also increased her skills by giving confidentiality or giving some confidence to that concept and taking some complexity in the programming to implement in the large project. This is those person have given a feedback. So from here, I'm going to conclude my speech. I hope all of you understand this. This is the way I organized. I enjoyed with that when I prepared this presentation itself. I don't know whether you followed my teaching or not because it is a virtual. Even if the session is in offline, I could satisfy it is because I could see your faces, whether you understand or not, so that I can get satisfaction. With this, I'm going to conclude this. In this conclusion, I am going to I would like to thank, a big thanks to Dr. Balakrishnan, Vice Principal, SMS College of Science and Commerce, who has given a wonderful opportunity to teach about this programming skills to the students of that institution. Thank you, sir. Thanks the management. I thank the management, principal, for giving the opportunity today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I just want a feedback from the audience, whether this is for my satisfaction. If you understand, if you followed my lecture, are you getting benefit? Here. I would like to getting feedback from you, students.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
How was it? Are you enjoying? Is it useful?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, students, let's start the question section. If you have any doubt, please unmute the button.
Excuse me, ma'am. Which is the best programming language in your experience, ma'am?
In my experience, I
In your
Python, because that is the latest things. Now I developed it. I started from Java. Even I have 25, since I have 26 years of teaching experience. When I studied 1993, I think. In that year, I studied the language is called Basic, Fortran, COBOL, FoxPro, Sybase. Only these subject I studied. But with the basic of all these things, I learned a lot of things, C, C++, C and all I studied in the teaching. When I come to the teaching itself, I started learning this C, teach the students, C++, Java, then web programming, HTML, Python, then R programming, then MapReduce, all these languages I learned, among which Python is the best one because it is easy to learn, easy to write, all these things.
Thank you, ma'am.
Answer.
Ma'am, good morning, ma'am.
Yes.
மேம் இப்போ வந்து நம்ம சியும் சி பிளஸும் படிக்காம டைரக்ட் நம்ம பைத்தான் படிக்கலாமா மேம்?
சிஓ சி பிளஸ் பிளஸ் படிக்காமலா?
எஸ் மேம். அப்படி லேர்ன் பண்ண முடியுமா?
என்னன்னா நீ சி சி பிளஸ் பிளஸ்ல உள்ள கான்செப்ட்ஸ் எல்லாமே பைத்தான்ல வருது. அதே வந்து சின்டாக்ஸ் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் ஒவ்வொரு சின்டாக்ஸும் என்னன்னு தெரிஞ்சா போதும். ரொம்ப இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் C++லாம் டிக்ளரேஷன் பண்ணினாதான் வி கோ ஃபார் மற்ற ப்ரோக்ராம்ஸ் மற்ற ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் எழுத முடியும். பட் பைத்தான்ல அப்படி இல்லை. யூ நோ நீட் டு ஹாவ் அ டிக்ளரேஷன், ஸ்ட்ரெயிட் அவே யூ கேன் யூஸ் த ப்ரோக்ராம், யூ கேன் ரைட் அ ப்ரோக்ராம். இந்த மாதிரி சில இதெல்லாம் இருக்கு. ஸோ C++ படிக்காமையும் இஃப் யூ ஆர் interested, you are good in programming languages, எனக்கு உன்னால பண்ண முடியும்ன்ற such confidence you have, better you go for Python straight away.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
How to make a programming
How to make a
programming list, ma'am?
can't understand. It's, I think echo வருதுப்பா. Clear ஆ கேளு. How to make a
Programming question, ma'am.
programming question.
Ma'am,
Programming question.
ma'am, I have one question, ma'am.
சொல்லுமா.
What is the advantage of learning programming language, ma'am? Because we are now to this group that way.
Okay, I'll tell you. Good question. That's what I said in this slide itself. Why do you improve your programming skills? Okay, so if you improve the programming skill, you can sit in a place like you develop a robot கூட நீ create பண்ணலாம். If you know how to write a program, you create a model, you create a patent, எல்லாமே நீ பண்ணலாம். That is what you sit there and develop the things and publicize this into the world. The people may use of your coding, your product. This is the use of developing code. Got understand? சின்ன சின்ன விஷயத்தையும் கோடிங்கா பண்ணீங்கன்னா easy to do these things.
Ma'am, which language is best for IT job? Because I am a biology student, that's why I am asking, ma'am.
Tell me which? Can't understand. Repeat the question.
Which language is best for IT job? Because I am a biology student, ma'am.
If you are a biology student, better you can go for Python, because Python is more related to like handling a data. It's the big data programming. You can do that Python, because as you are biology students, you have a lot of medical related data. To process those medical related data, best choice is Python.